Well, so much for being here with me today. In this training, we are going to talk about how to scale your service-based business without burning out. And I know that a lot of service providers fall victim to working nonstop in their businesses when they should really be spending time with their family, doing what they love, focusing on those passion projects. So we're going to talk about how to make that life possible for you today. But before we start, I want you to go ahead and close out of any other apps or tabs, put your phone in do not disturb mode, and really dedicate the next 45 minutes or so to getting the most out of this training as possible. And I also want you to grab a notebook and pen and take as many notes as possible because I'm going to be sharing a lot of really good stuff with you guys today. Also, make sure that you ask your questions in the chat box on the right side of the screen, and my team and I are going to be answering those and getting back to you ASAP. But if we have not met yet, let's start off with that. So, hi, my name is Steph Blake, and I help service providers scale their businesses to 6+ figures while working less than 20 hours a week. And I live outside of Chicago with my husband, Matt. Our son, at the time of recording this, he is 2 years old, so it is wild over here in our household. And we also have a really hyper dog named Vinny. Now, let's break down a little bit more about me and why I'm the best person to be sharing this information with you today. So, in 2010, I graduated with a degree in graphic design and worked in the corporate world for about 10 years. Now, for 5 of those years, I was working at a really fast-paced digital marketing and public relations agency. And I started at the very bottom as a graphic design associate and eventually worked my way up to an agency director. And during that time, I did pretty much everything. But by the time that I left there, I was managing close to 10 team members, and I had more than 20 clients that I was managing as well. But a few years into that job, I decided that I wanted to start my own company and work for myself. So I decided to start my own VA business, which eventually turned into an agency that I ran on the side while I was working my 9 to 5. And I did that for about 3 years before pivoting into the role that I have today, which is teaching women how to start or optimize their service-based businesses so that they can reach multiple six figures while working less than 20 hours a week. So let's talk a little bit about what does a scalable service-based business look like? And now this can look different for every business, but at its most basic, you as the service provider are operating as the CEO. So you are the owner of this company, and then you have other people helping you complete work for both your business and your clients' businesses. Now, you can choose to set yourself up with one other team member. You can create a boutique agency. You can create a full-fledged agency with a bunch of different team members and clients. But the beauty is that it is up to you to decide. Now, let's look at a couple of different examples of women that I've worked with to help scale their service-based businesses too. So the first is Meredith. And after running a really successful bookkeeping business for 2 years as a solopreneur, she knew that she really wanted to pivot to an agency model. That's what felt really good to her. So we created her custom strategy to bring on 10 new clients in 2 months, onboard 2 new team members. Plus, we created the back end structures that allowed her to focus on her zone of genius so that she didn't need to be the bottleneck anymore. I also want you to meet Tammy. She has a VA agency for luxury photographers. And after just 2 months of working with me, she organized all of the back end elements, hired 4 new team members, increased her rates by 2x, and has a wait list of clients that are dying to work with her. So today you are going to learn the framework that these 2 ladies and many others have used to scale their own service-based businesses. But right now, you are working all of the time. You're booked out and you cannot take on any more clients, even if you wanted to. So, in other words, you are just more stressed than ever before. And I mean, yeah, you do have flexibility with your schedule, but you started this business to have real time and money freedom. And that's the exact opposite of how you're feeling right now. You're not feeling excited about helping your clients because you feel like you were made to do more. And in those social media posts that you're writing, you are telling potential clients that they need help, which is why they should hire you. But are you taking that same advice in your own business? Now, you tell them that when they work with you, they're going to spend more time with their families and focus on their passion projects and start that course that they've had on the back burner for months, or have the time to be more creative, or be able to actually take a vacation. But I want to know, where does that leave you and your business at the end of the day? You're likely spending way less time with your family. You're not sleeping well or much at all. And you have no time to create content and market your own business. So, in other words, you're just really, really friggin' stressed, right? But you know that you need help, and you have no idea how you're going to pay people to actually help you. And the idea of scaling your business, it sounds really amazing and exactly what you want to do, but you have no idea where to start, and you're just really overwhelmed thinking about it. Now, this is what a lot of your weeks look like right now. It is jam-packed from sun up to sundown. You have countless tasks to do in your business and in your clients' businesses. So these could look like client work, or just random CEO tasks that you have to do, or continuing your education by watching trainings like this or different programs that you've invested in, or engaging on social media, or hosting discovery calls, updating your marketing materials. The list literally goes on and on and on. And you've noticed that this also starts to pour over into some of your weekends, since maybe you have a partner at home, they can help take care of your kids if you have them. So that is really the time where you get to focus on getting your work done, right? And I know that this has happened to me more than once. So if you are running your business like this right now, if this is how you're feeling right now, I can completely relate to this. Now, let's talk about time off, or a vacation, or spending uninterrupted time with your family in the evenings or on weekends. Or what about going out with a friend on a random Tuesday? Like, what is that, right? Because the thought of that makes you laugh, because there is no way that you can do that with the way that your business is structured right now. It's literally impossible, because you feel like you always need to be on call for your clients. Now, this is what your week looks like as a CEO. So you're not working at all hours of the day anymore, because you are only focused on doing the tasks that you specifically need to be doing and staying in your zone of genius. And everything else is outsourced, so you can focus on staying really productive, focused, and spend the rest of the time doing literally whatever it is that you want to do. So whether that's spending time with your kids, or visiting family, or visiting friends, or traveling, you are only working 15 to 20 or 25 hours a week. So you have a ton of flexibility with your time. So you may be wondering why I decided to step into the CEO role and scale my company so many years ago. Now, when I was in that 9 to 5 job that I told you about, I was out of the house from 5:30 in the morning to 7:30 at night. And I went to the gym before I got to the office, and I had about an hour or so commute on the way home. So I was gone like literally the entire day. And I only had about 3 hours a day to work on my business, which I typically did at night when I got home. And a few years into running my company, I found out that I was pregnant. So spoiler alert, I had two choices. The first choice was to stop working in my business and focus only on my 9 to 5. So I would go back to my 9 to 5 once my maternity leave was up. The other choice was to find people to help me and train them while I was pregnant and out on maternity leave. So I could have stayed in my 9 to 5 and went back after my maternity leave, since that's what the majority of people do, right? Like 99% of people do that, because that's the logical and the safe choice, and the one that my mom wanted me to make. But I asked myself a question. I said, if I want to be fully present when my son is born and get out of this job that is just sucking the life out of me, what can I do to make that happen? And I knew that I need help, but what did that actually look like? So I asked myself a couple of questions, and I wanted to just brainstorm on the things that I knew. So I knew that I loved connecting with clients and watching a transformation happen in their business. And I knew that I loved the strategy and helping clients at a higher level instead of all of those like nitty gritty tasks. So as I was thinking about this, I looked around and I realized that I had been working in an agency atmosphere for close to 6 years at that point. So why couldn't I create one for myself, right? I knew the ins and outs of running a successful company and had been at every level from the entry level all the way to upper level management C-suite level. So I knew that I could do this for myself. And that's the exact framework that I'm going to be breaking down for you today. But I had to figure out, well, first of all, now that I knew I wanted to scale with a team and bring people in to help me, I had to figure out the logistics of how to do this and how to make this happen. So I broke it down in a couple different steps. So I want you to get your notebooks out for this so that you can write these down. So step number one is I had to figure out how much time I actually wanted to be working each week. So I knew I was in a 9 to 5 at that time. I had a new baby coming. I was exhausted. So I had to be really realistic about what this looked like. So for me, that looked like 15 hours a week. I also knew that I had to develop a signature offer that I was going to promote. So what was one thing that I could become known for? For me, this ended up being back-end system setup. So we focus specifically on Kajabi, Depsado, and ClickUp. I also had to take a really hard look at the financial side and realistically break down how much money I had to bring people on to help me. But I knew at that time, at the rates that I was currently at and what I was charging, I would not be able to cover the cost of hiring a team. So I had to drastically increase my rates. But the funny thing was that after I did this, after I increased my rates, those more expensive packages were actually much easier to sell because I was reaching a higher caliber of client. And then the last question that I was asking myself was, how can I make sure my clients have a really amazing experience, even if I'm not the one doing the work? So what I did, I went all out with creating a really in-depth interviewing, hiring, training, and team management process. So I knew that all of the team members would know exactly what to do and when. And this is exactly how I came up with my business model, which was one that focused on giving my clients a really amazing experience while also giving me my time back. And that's that 4-part scalable service framework that we're diving into in this training. So this framework is focused on creating business models that are strategically designed for service providers to run a scalable service-based business on their terms. Now, the biggest lesson that I learned throughout this experience was that I was more than capable of creating a scalable and sustainable company of my own, even though it scared the crap out of me. Now, yeah, I had managed other team members in corporate before, but my own company was an entirely different ballgame, right? Because now I was responsible for paying them too, because my boss always took care of that before. So I didn't have to worry about that. But here's the thing. If you have been running a successful business up until this point, you are more than capable of doing this too, even if you don't realize it yet. And I have the literal path to show you how to make that happen in your very unique company. Now, the great thing about a scalable model is that it allows you to set up your business in a way that is sustainable, which is amazing. It allows you to work on those higher level tasks instead of the nitty gritty work and be in control of your schedule and focus on passion projects. Maybe you want to start a podcast or create a course or something along those lines. Or maybe you want to open up your schedule to a higher level of support, like VIP days or intensives, or you want to reach 6 or multiple 6 figures in a year. And you also want to give your clients a better experience than you could ever do on your own. And a scalable model makes this happen for you. So if you haven't set your business up in a way that is scalable, let me know why. Now, when I say scalable, I mean having those necessary systems and team members in place in order to reach your big goals. So that could look like 6+ figures or working 15 hours a week. You can go ahead and pop all of those into the chat box because my team and I would love to chat with you about this just to see like where you're at right now. Why haven't you decided to set your business up this way? Now, today you are going to learn how to set up a service-based business that allows you to scale to six or multiple six figures without burning out. And we are going to be going through my 4-part scalable service framework. And I'm also going to share the number one mistake that will cause your company to fail and how to fix it before it happens. So let's dive right in. This framework that you're going to learn, it is going to allow you to work when you want to and on your own terms. It's also going to allow you to create a signature offer that effortlessly attracts clients into your company. It's going to show you how to determine the amount of cash you need in order to pay your team members without stressing about it. And it's also going to give your clients a really amazing experience, even if you're not the one doing the work. And this framework was created very strategically with the 4 most important aspects that you need in order to create a successful and sustainable service-based business. So the first is time. So let's start here. We want to figure out how much of it you want to spend actually working, because right now you are sick of this hustle lifestyle and working nonstop on client work because you barely have time to focus on your marketing and growing your own business, let alone spending time with your family, right? But before we do that, we need to be really realistic and logical here. So we need to take a step back and we need to figure out how many hours you actually want to work, because until we know that, we cannot create that scalable business model. So I want you to ask yourself, how much time do you ideally want to work in your business every week? So write all of these questions down on your paper. I want you to really think about these, journal on these. Now, the second question is, what are 3 words that describe your ideal day? The third one is, what do you want to experience on a daily basis in your business? And then what do you want to experience on a daily basis in your life? So an example of this could look like, I want to work 15 hours a week in my business. 3 words that describe my ideal day are freedom, trying to think of this off the top of my head. Freedom, excitement, and stress-free. I don't know. Those are my 3 words. And then what do I want to experience on a daily basis? I want to experience flow and working with really great team members and easily attracting clients to me without feeling like I'm chasing after them. And in my life, I want to experience really slow mornings where I can enjoy my coffee. Maybe I want to wake up and journal, or maybe I want to go to sleep with my partner at the end of the day instead of waking up or spending hours working while they're sleeping. So that's a little example for you guys. But of course, break this down and ask yourself these questions and really think about it, because it's really important to know the answers to these questions. And then I want you to physically map these days out on a piece of paper for your unique situation. So maybe for you, this looks like working from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Monday and Wednesday. Maybe you want to work from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday. I want you to realistically think about what this looks like for you and your situation right now. Now, if you have kids, this can also vary based on whether they are at home with you for schooling, or whether it's summer, or whether it's the school year. So if you need to make a couple of different options, you can absolutely do that as well. Now, your current schedule likely looks a lot different from what you want it to, right? But that's okay, because that's why you're here, so that you can learn how to make this dream week a reality. Now, if you are thinking there is no way that I can actually do that, I promise that it is possible for you, because inside of my program, 6-Figure Service, I am reviewing every single person's ideal week to make sure that it's actually realistic and possible for their lifestyle. Now, I'm a mom. I understand how hard it is to fit everything into one day. So that's why I'm really diving into the week that you have set up. And I'll let you know if we need to tweak anything so that we can make it as realistic as possible for you so that you can actually achieve it, right? There's no point of setting these like really unrealistic goals if you can't achieve them.